Good afternoon, Ambassador Bartos, and welcome to the MINUSCA TV studio.
Thank you, Viku. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We are honored to have you as well. And I have to remind our global listener that Ambassador Bartos serves currently as the United States Ambassador to the United Nations for Management and Reform. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. I'm privileged to have been nominated by President Trump to serve in this amazing position. I was confirmed in September and have been honored to serve President Trump and the American people up at the United Nations under the leadership of Ambassador Waltz, Secretary Ruby, and of course, President Trump.
Yeah, and it's in that vital role that Ambassador Bartos, you are leading a U.S. delegation on a significant visit to Central African Republic. Once again, thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here, and this is my first official trip as an ambassador. So I came to Central Africa.
Excellent. We are happy to have you. And Ambassador, as the U.S. Ambassador for Management and Reform, as you tell us, you are representing the U.S. in the United Nations in terms of management and reform since September 2025. Could you tell us or elaborate on the scope and responsibility of your position? What do you do?
It's the budget. No, it's a lot more than that. But I have a great team. I lead a team of about 10 professionals with deep knowledge. They have deep knowledge. My team has deep knowledge on the UN budget, peacekeeping budget, the regular budget. It's very complicated how the UN is funded with assessed contributions and voluntary contributions. But since I joined the mission in New York, our primary focus has been getting the UN fit for purpose, back to basics, focusing on peace and security. And I think if you look at any of our social media postings, right around December 30th, the UN gavelled through the Fifth Committee and then the UN General Assembly gavelled through the budget for 2026. And that was, for the first time in the history of the United Nations, $570 million was cut from the regular budget. Just about 3,000 posts were cut. And we're not celebrating the cutting of jobs or the cutting of money for the sake of cutting money. It was all focused. And what I want to say is U.S. leadership was indispensable in bringing all 193 countries together to get the UN back to basics, to get it on a path where it is fit for purpose and can address the challenges of the world. And we did that. It was consensus. It was 193 countries coming together, all saying, it's time for the UN to get back to basics. There's really important work. As President Trump says, the UN has great potential. We want to help it meet its potential and then exceed its potential.
And you say 2 times, fit for purpose.
Yes.
Excellent. In terms of that fit for purpose, Ambassador, your visit comes just a month after what I'll call historic group election.
Yes.
Here in Central African Republic, it was on the 28th December 2025. You have a presidential election, you have a parliamentary election, you have the regional elections, and those regional elections have not taken place for 3 decades in this country. And your visit also coincides with the renewal of the MINUSCA mandate 3 months ago. And my question to you, Ambassador, is what are the main objectives of the visit? Why are you here and this time?
So I met the SRSG. I met Valentine in October, and I was really struck by her enthusiasm for her work. She spoke glowingly about her team, about the work that was happening here in Central African Republic. She painted a vision for what was going to happen in December, the end of December, December 28th, which was, of course, these historic elections. And I, as someone who's new in the position, who wants to learn as much as he can and wants to serve the president, the American people, I have a great team, but I wanted to learn. And I said, I think I should come to CAR.
Yeah.
I think I should come to the Central African Republic, actually see what's happening here on the ground after the election, not only to congratulate the great people of the Central African Republic and, of course, the president on his re-election, but to say that this is a mission, and from Valentine's leadership, the SRSG's leadership, I can learn a lot. We could learn a lot. And that was really what prompted the decision. So it was in October, I think, that we decided we were going to set up this trip. And here we are in February.
So that meeting triggered this visit?
It did. Yeah, it did. We had a meeting in New York, and it was a great meeting, and I learned a lot, and I knew there was more I could learn. And I wanted to come here and meet the team. I wanted to meet the great people here in Bangui. We're heading out to the field tomorrow, so I want to meet...
Samwanja, Birao, the Deep East.
Yeah, very excited. I mean, I wish I could spend more time in the country and get all over the country, but we'll do that another time.
Excellent. So you said it, Ambassador, that your a visit here will allow you to see what really is happening. And during your stay, you have had the opportunity to meet with the Central African Republic authorities at the highest level. Could you tell us in your own words who you've met and what you've discussed with them, and what have been what I'll call the takeaway from these exchanges that you had with them?
Yes, I was honored to be received yesterday by both the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister. Great meetings, very gracious with their time. I mean, as a visitor, for the highest levels of the government to take their very valuable time, their time is very precious, to take time to meet with me and to share with me what's happening here in the Central African Republic, how proud everyone is that this election, which was an astounding success, over 64% voter turnout, 99.9% of the precincts, everything went fine. It's almost 100%, is unheard of. That, as you said, 4 levels. It has, if my memory serves, it hasn't happened in 37 years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's an amazing accomplishment. And so the message I wanted to deliver, first of all, thank you for welcoming me to your country.
Yes.
And I said, what do you see? What are you working on? What do you see for the next couple months? What do you see for the next year? And
they were able to brief you, to give you insights.
Absolutely. I got a great sense of the history, the proud history of the people of this country, the history of the country, obviously what's happened over the last 11, 12 years with MINUSCA, and what we're seeing now, which is, I think, a very important momentum, very positive momentum being built, and I think really setting an example for what can be achieved with great leadership and great collaboration between the government and the peacekeeping mission.
Given the United States' long-standing support for peacekeeping effort, you've seen for yourself, you hear for yourself what have happened since the signing of that agreement under the leadership of the UN, of the member state. What are your expectations regarding current and future peace operations, Ambassador?
Well, the UN uniquely does peacekeeping. Right? It's the only international organization that has this mechanism, the Security Council and Chapter 7 peacekeeping missions. You'll see what we've been doing at the UN over the last 4 or 5 months. We're not reimagining anything, but we're looking at new ways to engage with the United Nations as we address crises around the world. So, for an example, the gang suppression force that the Security Council passed in the fall to address the ongoing problem with the gangs in Haiti is a unique, I say, new way that the Security Council is engaging with international peace and security under U.S. leadership. But of course, the entirety of the Council came together to pass that resolution. Of course, the President's historic peace plan for Gaza with a vote of 13-0, unanimous support in the Security Council for not only the Board of Peace, but also the International Stabilization Force and all of the levels of government, which is now taking shape. There was a historic signing in October, but we saw the rollout of the Board of Peace and other entities in Davos just a couple of weeks ago. And so I think there's a lot to see there. The U.S. has been involved since the founding of the UN, of course. U.S. leadership is indispensable. And MINUSCA, for me, as I travel through the country and speak to the leadership here in the Central African Republic, speak to the leadership of MINUSCA, I'm just learning as much as I possibly can to bring it back to New York, work with my colleagues in New York to make sure not only that this mission remains successful, but also what we can learn from this positive momentum that's been developed here in the Central African Republic. How can we apply that to other missions and to future missions? Because there will be other crises in the world.
Yeah, of course.
That's
inevitable.
That's inevitable. What can we learn from this momentum that we can apply to other missions?
Yeah. But you talk about new way to engage, but that new way of engaging does not happen without frictions.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, but in that particular aspect, ambassadors, and as a follow-up question, how do you foresee the evolution of MINUSCA role in Central African Republic? And that question, all our listeners across the globe in our platforms will be very interested to see exactly how you respond to that. How do you see the future of this UN mission here in Central African Republic?
Well, the election that just happened on December 28th is just a monumental achievement here for the people of the Central African Republic. It's I think, a very important milestone for MINUSCA and, for, of course, as the government of the Central African Republic. So I think looking forward, I don't do predictions. I would never get ahead of the great people here and the government and the leadership in MINUSCA. I think what I'm taking back to New York is, we've been here. We've been here for almost 9 hours.
Yeah.
really in-depth meetings with the leadership team across all levels of the
Back
mission.
to back.
Yeah, back to back.
Yes.
They gave us like 20 minutes for lunch, but that's okay. But I think digesting everything I learned here, taking it back and seeing, again, taking this positive momentum, what can we learn from this to apply not only to other missions, but to future crises? I think that's what I see. That's what I see taking out of this learning. In terms of predicting the future, I think the future is incredibly bright.
Yeah, September 2025, you take on this role. This is the first UN peacekeeping mission that you are visiting since you have taken up that role.
It is. Well, I visited DRC.
Okay,
I visited DRC only because of the flights.
Okay.
So I went to, there was no disrespect meant to the Central African Republic that went. So, but we flew into Kinshasa.
Yes.
Spent 3 days, met with the MINUSCA team, and then came to Bangui yesterday. As I said, I'll spend 3 days here in Central African Republic before we go on to Nairobi and spend some time with our UN colleagues there. But yes, I think it was really important for me in my role, management and reform, with the amount of time, effort, resources that are devoted to peacekeeping missions.
To see for yourself.
Absolutely. To see for myself, to meet the people on the ground who are not only delivering the services, but to meet the great people I've met here, the citizens of the Central African Republic, senior leadership in the government, the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister. Really just take this all in. I'll go back to New York with a broadened horizon, with a lot of learning, and we'll see how we apply that going forward.
And talking about to see people, you'll have the opportunity also to go to the countryside to see for yourself how the UN, together with the government, are working hand in hand to ensure that services, state authorities enforced over there. Any expectation from those field visits?
Oh, I can't wait to get out to the field.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to get out to the field. First of all, I get to take off the suit and tie.
Exactly.
And put on some like proper work clothing, get out there and meet people on the ground, hear what they have to say, hear how the missions affected their lives, the excitement. I suspect I'll hear a lot of excitement about the success of these elections and what the future looks for the people of the Central African Republic. So for me, I'm really in listening mode. It does no good for me to talk. I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. And really to take those learnings, to hear from the people who the mission have helped, to hear from the people, the pride that I expect to hear, and I'm sure I will hear when we get out to the field, the pride that people are taking in the great success that we're seeing here in the Central African Republic.
Ambassador, if you have a message for the people of the Central African Republic, what will it be?
Thank you for your warm hospitality. I have really enjoyed being here. I can't wait to get out to the field tomorrow. Congratulations on 64% participation, voter turnout in a national election. First time 4 levels of government all on the ballot in 37 years. These are monumental achievements, a great source of pride. Congratulations to the people, congratulations to the government, and thank you for your warm hospitality. I've really enjoyed being here.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Bartos, for sharing your insight and perspective with us today. We wish you and your delegation a safe and fruitful stay in Central African Republic, and we hope to receive you again in this studio.
I'll be back.
Excellent. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Merci.
Merci infiniment.
Merci.
OK.